Right, what we're doing today, we're fitting the Racefit Titanium Black Edition exhaust to my 2024 Honda FireBlade.
Welcome to Mid-Bike Crisis. Welcome to Mid-Bike Crisis.
Right, let's get it up on the ramp. Just get it on the stand so it's a bit more secure. Right, we're done, we're on. Just make a little bit more room. I'll do. Right, I'm already sweating. Let's get on with the install of this lovely, beautiful Racefit Titanium exhaust. Right, I'm absolutely boiling. The weather here in the UK is absolutely messed up. So we've gone from freezing cold. Bear in mind, we're in June, so it's meant to be warm. We've gone from hailstone last week, really cold weather, 10 degrees, so not warm, really wet, to I think it's 18 degrees today. It's boiling. It's absolutely red hot. So the weather needs to make its mind up. But anyway, enough of the rubbish weather system. Let's crack on. Get rid of this Acro, which part of me thinks it's a shame because I think the stock Acro Titanium exhaust that comes on the SP, on the new FireBlade, I think it looks great. A lot of people say it's a bit big, but I think it's a really nice looking can. But unless these valves are open, when you're sort of like pinning it past 7,000 RPM, it just sounds pretty tame, to be honest. So we've gone with the Racefit exhaust. Highly recommend, customer service, quality of product, absolutely superb. Go speak to John or Tamara at Racefit, they'll get you sorted. But let's crack on. So I'm hoping it's not a massive install. It should be quite easy. Disconnect the servo for the exhaust valves under here, pull that through. Make sure you leave the servo connected by the plug, don't unplug it, otherwise it'll throw up some ECU error codes. So just remember that if you are installing an aftermarket exhaust, leave the servo plugged in, just disconnect the cables. So it'll still wear and spin and do its job under the seat, but it won't be pulling the cables that'll open the valve. So it's still doing its job, then it won't throw up the ECU error. So let's crack on. Let's get this Racefit Black Edition exhaust installed. Right, before we take off the Acro, I suppose we better do a bit of a sound check. So we'll do a comparison before and after, but we'll fire it up now, cold start. Let's see what this CBR1000RR-R SP sounds like with the Acro. So as you can hear, it sounds nice. Not going to lie, there'll be a lot of people say leave it. It sounds absolutely brilliant. It's all down to personal preference with motorbikes. And in my history of motorbikes, pretty much every single bike that I've ever bought, new, second-hand, I've always put a new can on it, which it seems a shame. Beautiful bit of kit, but this bad boy Racefit, I'm sure, well, I know it looks amazing, so I'm sure it's going to sound pretty epic. So let's crack on, get on with the install, and then we'll do a bit of a sound check and see what we all think. So let's crack on with the install on this boiling hot East Yorkshire day. Let's crack on. Right, I've just got to disconnect and disregard all of the alerts on the app for the tracker so I don't get bombarded with telephone calls. The tracker is absolutely fantastic. It's a Data Tools Scorpion tracker and they are on the ball. If you even just move your bike, you get a phone call. They are really, really good. So if you're working on your bike with your tracker on in your garage, you've got to make sure you turn off all the alerts and you can set it for a set time. So I'm just going to log off the alerts just for about an hour and a half while we get on with the install. I've been told we don't need to take the fairings off completely, so I've just taken this bolt out here just so I've got a bit of flex on the fairing so I can get to the clamp for the end can. So I'm hoping I don't have to take the fairing off, so I'll just save us quite a bit of work. But I've got to just figure out now how to where the servo goes. It goes up here into under the this piece of fairing. So I'm going to take this bit of fairing off and hopefully access the servo motor. So we're just disconnecting the battery. We'll get that out of the way so we can access this exhaust servo valve. Tell you what, so like this lithium battery, it weighs absolutely nothing. So where are we at? Where's the servo? There it is. So we're just trying to access the servo, which is under here. It's just not accessible behind the pillion seat. So I'm hoping I'm just going to take this piece of fairing off and we can access the servo a little bit easier. It's always the same. These little jobs always turn into bigger jobs. I've just been chatting to somebody on Facebook Marketplace looking at I've been looking at a Dainese leather suit and he tracks bikes, and I showed him this Racefit and he said they're bloody loud. So should be good. Right, we've just got to figure out how to get these little pins out. I think you push them in. So many little fiddly bits. I suppose they've got to yeah, they're just pushing like that, and then that should release. Yes, it does. So these little pins here, be careful, don't break them. So you just push the middle down and it releases the clip. I'm hoping that just pulls up and out now. What's that connected to? I don't want to break them clips. So why is that not coming out? Take those little plastic plugs out. I broke plenty of them on my FireBlade, on my 954, that's for sure. Right, we've got to figure out how to get this little piece of plastic fairing off. Because I tell you what, them little clips that are holding it on don't look very substantial. So you never know when you're doing these things if things could break, and you'd be devastated if you broke this. Right, there's something holding on there. Don't know what. A little clip there, I think. I can see it. Get my little iPhone torch out and have a look. Oh, looks like some little clips in there, which is a bit of a bugger. Looks quite difficult to get. So Honda, you make wicked bikes, but honestly, some of these Little fairings are a nightmare to get off. Right, we're going to turn off and have a little think about this. I don't want to snap anything. So I've just been to have a look on my computer, trying to find a workshop manual for this. I've got a workshop manual for my CBR1000RR-R, but I don't have one yet for this new FireBlade, so I'm going to have to find one. So while I'm just going to go have a quick look for this, sorry, before I go have some lunch, I'm going to go have a sandwich and a cup of tea and just have a little think about this. I'm going to try and find the workshop manual for taking this little piece of fairing off, because there's some little clips located about here, some little black clips that seem really difficult to locate. Sorry, not to locate, to push out with a screwdriver or anything. I can't seem to get to them, so I don't want to risk breaking that bit of fairing. So I'm going to get this side anyway. I'm going to get this side off. Obviously the pillion pegs are coming off because they look shit, and I'll never take a pillion on this bike. So I'm going to go have a cup of tea and a brew. It's always good to gather your thoughts. If you're unsure, don't rush these things because you will regret it. I watched a video this morning and the guy who did this install broke the tabs here. So I definitely don't want to be breaking tabs on my new bike, so I'll be pretty gutted. So I'm going to go have a cup of tea and a little sandwich, gather my thoughts, have a breather. I think I'm going to have a tuna sandwich. So a tuna sandwich, cup of tea, bag of crisps, Walker's crisps, in or out, what are you? Personally, I like mine in. How do you like yours? So I'll clear my thoughts. I'll try and find out how to release these two clips under here, and then we'll be back refreshed with a nice clear mind. So we'll see you in a little minute after my lunch. Right, I've had my cup of tea. I didn't have a tuna sandwich. I had a scone. A scone? How do you say it? A scone? We say in scone in Yorkshire. So I had a scone, half with butter and cheese and half with jam and clotted cream, and a bag of crisps. So obviously I didn't put my crisps inside. But anyway, I was having a look for a workshop manual. Can't find a workshop manual for the new FireBlade. And all I seemed to find was doom and gloom about this bit of fairing here with the clips. So what I'm going to do, I've just had a thought. I wonder if that whole piece, right, I'm going to try and take off the whole piece rather than messing about with this. I don't want to run the risk of breaking any of this fairing. So we'll crack on, have a go at taking some of this off and see where we're at. So I'm not going to lie, it's kicking me butt this. So just under there, just behind that connector, there's a little plastic lug that's keeping this part of the fairing on. And it's, I'm not going to lie, it's really difficult to get out. So we'll keep plodding on and I'll let you know in due course. Might be here next week at this rate. This is the hardest install I've ever done for a slip-on. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, this has been a real difficult part of the install. So these little clips under here, you've got to push it up. I bet there'll be a special tool that you buy from Honda for this, but you've got to push the clip up and then out. There's like a little lip on the bottom. So what I did was push the little clip up with one screwdriver and then sort of prised it on the other side here. So managed to get the left side out without any trouble. So there we go. That one's out. It sounded like it broke actually, that. It's pinged out on the floor. But no, it's not broke. So here we go. That was a complete pig to get off one either side. So I'm really pleased I've got them out without breaking, but that bit was, let me just figure this out. Yeah, it was installed like that. So you've got to push that part from the underneath and push it out that way. So a bit of a nightmare, but got them out. One's dropped in here in the fairing, so I'll have to figure out where that's gone, but we can now crack on. So now we've got them two clips off. That little fairing has come off and we broke one clip, which is a bit of a bugger. What an absolute nightmare that was. So I'll probably glue that back on, but I don't think it'll make any difference. It'll still be, you've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 securing points down. So there we go, we got that off, finally. So now we've got that horrible bit of fairing off, we can now access the servo motor. So we've got one retaining bolt, which is not, it won't torqued up very tight at all. So when you're putting this back in, just be careful not to over tighten it, because again, I watched another video and the guy over torqued and snapped the mounting off inside. So this should just pop out. Honestly, everything is so bloody tight. There's just no room to work. Not like the 954. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to unplug that. Everything, honestly, is just so tight. I'll try and feed them cables. Where do they go? They go under here, so under the battery. You can simply turn the motor round and pull the cables out. So I've just turned the motor round. So you don't want to be cutting these cables. You just want to just try and free them out of the motor. So we'll turn them round. So on the side of the unit, there's a 2.5mm Allen key nut. So I'm just, it's a bit of trial and error this really. I'm just undoing that. See if that pops the top off, which I hope it does. And then just put the top back on, take the cables out. Yeah, it does. So, right, that's made my life a little bit easier. So that comes off. And then get your pliers and just ease these cables out now. So I'd recommend you do that. So just on the side there, there's a little 2.5mm nut. Just take it off and then put the nut back in, but that's the cables released now. Right, that's them freed off, that's the unit. So I'm going to put the unit back together. So when you're riding your bike, the computer will still be spinning this servo, but obviously you're not going to hear it. Or the option is take it out and put a servo eliminator on, which I might probably do. So, but honestly, that doesn't weigh anything really, so I'll probably just leave it on. But I think you can buy a servo eliminator for about £60–70. So I'll probably get one of them. It's all about weight saving. Right, so yeah, 2.5mm is the size, so we'll just put that back on. So I've just put the servo motor back into its place and just nipped the bolt up, and just remember that is such a light torque. When I unbolted that, there was no resistance whatsoever, so just be very careful, don't over torque that because you'll snap it. Right, that's all in place. Right, we've got to get these cables pulled out now and get the can off, and we should be good. Oh dear, right, I'm not going to lie, it was flipping challenging, and I got all the clips off apart from one, which I broke, so I'm a bit gutted, but there's 4, it won't make a difference, but hey, listen, what's an install if you haven't broke a couple of clips? So, right, I'm just trying to get these cables through here. Hopefully no more fairings to take off. And I think that's about done. So we're going to take this bolt off here for the can clamp, and then hopefully the can will come straight off. So let's crack on with that. So when I spoke to John at Racefit, he said to me that you don't need to take off the fairings. So I've just taken out this bolt here out of this part of the fairing, and you can just get your 12mm socket on there just to loosen that off. So that's loose now. So what we've got left to do, them cables have got to come all the way out, I think. And they're going to pull through, I think. Right, one last job. 6mm, what mill's that? That should just come off. Pull them cables through, and that's it, we're off. It's actually really like this, but too much baffling going on in there. So that's the acro exhaust off. So we'll just put that to the side. And what I recommend you don't do, I know a lot of people are tempted to do this, start it up with no can on it, but you'll definitely throw up some error codes. So probably wouldn't recommend doing that. So let's get on the Racefit. We're going to take off that rear peg, and then we'll put on the Racefit. I'm just going to just put it there. Just, oh yeah, it looks amazing. That looks really good. Right, where's that hanger? Tidy little hanger. I'll tell you what we'll do, just before we install it, I'm just going to do a little weight comparison. I'm just going to weigh these on the scales and see what this comes in versus the stock. Right, let's weigh the acro, see what we're coming in at. That's quite heavy, heavy beast that. So we're on 3.112. 3.110 on the standard acro. Let's get the Racefit on. Just balance that on there. Massive difference. 978 grams. So not even a kilo. So over 2 kilos saving from stock to Racefit. So we'll get the clamp on. That wants to go that side like that. Racefit do supply some silicone sealant, but I don't think it's needed. So I did get a hanger. John kindly put an exhaust hanger in with the order, but I did order the same day that we ordered the exhaust. I ordered an EvoTech, so that's the EvoTech, and that's the one from Racefit. I don't know which one I prefer, to be honest. I am going to put the EvoTech on just because I don't know actually. I'll put them on and let's have a little look. Right, I did go with the EvoTech hanger that I bought. No against the one that you've sent, John. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. But this one is just a little bit slimmer in line, so I'll try this one. I might put the Racefit one back on later, but I'm just going to install with the EvoTech hanger for now. I think that looks pretty. Right, where's me? Oh, I tell you what, stuff goes everywhere. I've lost my spanner, but look at that. How beautiful does that look? Stunning. Racefit full titanium exhaust. So I've got to just tighten up a couple of bolts and then we'll have a sound check. Right, that's the install done. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit fiddly. The actual exhaust part was a piece of cake. The fiddly bit was taking the servo cables out and this middle fairing, the part that separates the pillion and the rider seat, a little piece of fairing there, that was a complete pain in the bum. Snapped a couple of little connectors, but they're not required because you've got 4 bolts, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. So I don't know what they're there for, to be honest. 2 more retaining clips. So that's it, we're on. So we're going to have a bit of a sound check now and see what it's all about. Are you ready? Are you all ready? I wonder how loud it's going to be. So here we go. This is a cold start. Cold start. Absolutely stone cold. So let's go for it. This is the Racefit Black Edition Titanium exhaust on the 2024 FireBlade RRR SP. for sure. Right, I'm not gonna lie, it's bloody loud. It is loud actually. I can't believe you can get such a sound when you've still got the cat installed. Unbelievable. So definitely need earplugs. Does it sound good? Yes, it does. Is it obnoxious? It is a little bit. Does it suit the bike? 100%. So that's the Racefit Black Edition Titanium exhaust installed on my 22 model, so year 2022 model, 24 registered bike. So it's not the new 24, as lots of people keep saying. It's a 22 model, but it's a 24 registered, so it's a brand new bike, registered this month, last month. But it's the 22 model. Absolutely beautiful. A bit of a faff installing it, no to do with the exhaust. It was all like the little clips and the usual shit basically when you're doing these jobs. It's all the little fiddly little fairing brackets that end up breaking. But you can't do an install without having a couple of broken Honda clips, can you? So that's it for now. That's the Racefit Black Edition Titanium exhaust. I'm going to go out for a little blast and see what it sounds like on the road. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed that little install vid. Thanks for watching. See you all on the next video.